Starring Bela Day in... But Ma, that's my favorite movie. Oh, well, all right. But don't you spend too much time in front of that TV, do you hear me? Yes, Ma.
May I have the envelope, please?
And the Oscar for Best Picture is presented to...
And the Oscar goes to...
Slumdog Millionaire.
An American in Paris.
Platoon.
Birdman.
Chariots of Fire.
Driving Miss Daisy. Forrest Gump.
From Here to Eternity.
DG.
Hamlet.
Gandhi.
Amadeus.
Tom Jones.
Ben-Hur. Braveheart.
American Beauty.
Cleopatra. In the Heat of the Night. Midnight Cowboy. $1 Million Baby.
Oliver. My Fair Lady.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Rain Man.
Patton.
Ordinary People.
Shakespeare in Love.
The English Patient.
Lawrence of Arabia.
West Side Story.
Marty.
No Country for Old Men.
You're supposed to say, and the Oscar goes to.
And the winner is...
The winner is. The winner is. The winner is. The winner is.
The winner is...
The winner is.
And the winner is.
The winner is...
The winner is.
And the winner is...
Chicago!
Dances with Wolves.
Terms of Endearment.
The Deer Hunter.
The Bridge on the River Kwai.
Godfather. Godfather Part 2.
The Hurt Locker.
The Last Emperor.
The Silence of the Lambs.
The Sound of Music.
The greatest show on earth.
The Artist.
Out of Africa.
The Sting.
On the Waterfront.
And the Oscar goes to...
And the Oscar goes to... And the Oscar goes to... And the Oscar goes to...
The Oscar goes to... And the Oscar goes to...
Gladiator. Kramer versus Kramer.
The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King.
Crash.
Annie Hall.
The Departed.
Rocky. Unforgiven. The French Connection.
Argo.
Titanic.
Spotlight.
A Mangrove Season.
All the King's Men.
All About Eve.
Around the World in 80 Days.
The King's Speech.
Schindler's List. 12 Years a Slave.
A Beautiful Mind.
And the Oscar goes to...
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of my podcast, But Ma, that's my favorite movie, and I am your host, B. Lede. So, if you are new to this podcast, what I do is introduce movies, and I'll have a theme where I will talk about two different movies where pretty much the plot will center around the subject of that particular theme. And what I will do is give an introduction of what the movie is about, and I give you the details of the beginning of the movie just up until the major plot point. Now, today's episode is titled, But Ma, that's my favorite Oscar-winning movie. Because if you did not know, the Oscars is going to be on Sunday, which is April the 25th. We're not quite sure, or I'm not quite sure, if they're going to be having like a virtual audience and everyone will be accepting the awards virtually. I'm not quite sure, but we will definitely be finding out on Sunday. All right. Now, before we get into the movies, I do want to let you know about our social media. So please follow us on our social media pages for a sneak peek about upcoming episodes, where basically I post a visual of stills from the upcoming movies we're going to talk about. And I play a game called Guess That Theme, where you guess the theme and or the movies. And then we are available on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I also do have a website, which is butma.that'smyfavoritemovie.com, and you can write reviews and give movie or theme suggestions. So all of the handles will be listed in the notes/description box below, along with the link to the website. So make sure, if you're loving the episodes, you're enjoying this content, to shout us out by tagging our pages on social media or giving us a review on Apple Podcasts / my website. And if you do tag us into a post on social media, shouting us out, I'm going to shout you out on an episode. And then eventually I do want to do a drawing where, whoever shouts us out or writes reviews, put you in a drawing for something special. All right, so let's get into this theme here, which is movies that have won an Oscar. So pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. And you know what? I'm going to do something a little different in this episode. So, lights, camera, action.
And the winner is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
All right, so the movie we're going to be discussing first is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. This movie was released November 19th, 1975. The writers we have are Lawrence Halbin, and he was also a writer for Point Blank in 67 and the movie Then Came Bronson. Then we have Bo Goldman, who wrote for the movie Scent of a Woman and Meet Joe Black. And then we have Ken Kesey, who is actually the person who wrote the novel One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And he also wrote novels such as Sometimes a Great Notion, Last Go Round, and Sailor Song. And then the director we have is Milos Forman. And he also directed The People vs. Larry Flint and Amadeus. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the summary. So, there is a new patient that has been admitted to the hospital. And the hospital is called the Oregon State Hospital, which is a mental facility, okay? Now, he is brought in with handcuffs, and when he first enters... Hello everyone, this is Bila Day. Sorry to interrupt this episode, but I just wanted to let you know that you were only listening to a preview. So if you would like to listen to the rest of this episode, then you can definitely go to the website, butmathat'smyfavoritemovie.com, or you can go directly to any of these platforms for the full episode. We are available on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Castbox. Please don't hesitate to follow the podcast on any of those platforms so that you can be notified anytime a new episode is available. If you didn't know, our primary release day is every Thursday, but be on the lookout for bonus content as well. Now, if you've listened to the But Ma, That's My Favorite Movie podcast before, that's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. So if you have a friend that loves movies like we do, then definitely go ahead and share this podcast with them. And if you're a new listener and you do end up enjoying the podcast, well, then you go ahead and share with a friend too. Also, don't forget to like any of our social media pages so that you can also get updates and regular information about the podcast and about any of the episodes that are coming up. The social media sites that we have a presence on are Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And also, if you want to leave a review, whether constructive or positive, we'd appreciate that too. All right, go ahead and get over to one of the other platforms so we can finish getting into the rest of these movies.